Today I've decided to create a video which will give you 1 year roadmap in how to become a photographer, or if you are a photographer, how to take your photography to an absolute next level. And you will enjoy it, you're gonna have fun with this. And I promise you, by the time you're done with this, you will know so much about photography, and following the steps will take you in 1 year's time from zero to a photographer that you are going to be proud. Hey guys, this is 𝐂𝐐. I'm a fashion and a wildlife photographer. I don't want to say how to become, right? First, let's not speak about how to become. Let's talk about the decision. First, you have to learn to make a decision. I know it was very difficult for me sometimes. When I made a decision, I changed it. So now what I'm saying to you guys, you have to learn to make a decision and then stick to it. And if you go and research the meaning of decision in the Latin translation, you will see the meaning of decide is to cut off all possibilities. So if you want to be a photographer, you have to cut off all possibilities of saying to yourself, I am good, I'm not good, maybe I'm good. No, you are going to be good. So you have to decide that I want to be the best photographer, whatever genre you may choose there is, right? So that's number one. Number two, now you have to get your hands a little bit more dirty by saying, okay, I've decided I want to be a photographer. In 1 year's time, I'm going to go from zero to whatever I want to be. Now, how do you do that? Number one, you decide what kind of photography you have to do. It's not just I want to be a photographer. So you've decided you want to be a photographer. Now you have to decide what kind of photographer you want to be, right? So you want to be a landscape photographer, you want to be a wildlife photographer, you want to be a fashion photographer, there are so many genres. But that's one thing that I must say to you. When I was starting off, I was taking photographs of stones. I was taking photographs of anything at all. People. That is how I decided what I wanted to do, what makes me happy. So after taking images of stones and flowers and people and so on and so forth, the thing that made me happy was taking photographs of people. So I had access to the fashion business. So I became a fashion photographer. You have to decide what kind of photographer you want to become. So you have to shoot different things. And the thing that will help you decide is you must feel happy. It must come from inside. You must feel that emotion, because without that, you are actually going from fire to a frying pan. So maybe you are working somewhere. Maybe you have your own business. Maybe you do whatever. But the key, what I tell my kids all the time is, if you want to be happy and never work a single day in your life, then you must love what you do. And the only way you're going to love what you do is if you have emotions attached to it. So make a decision what kind of photographer you want to become by keeping in mind what makes you happy. Sometimes people don't like the fact that they're shooting another person. Sometimes people love the fact that they're shooting cats. So whatever makes you happy, whatever gives you that little thing in your heart, that's what you do, right? So that's what you do. And then you go out and do so much of it, that there's no other option other than the fact that you become so good at it that you are the best in the world, right? So decide that you want to be a photographer, then decide what kind of photography makes you happy, and that will lead you to the step number 3, Now, step number 3 is equipment. And I don't ever want to speak about technical stuff on this channel, but I have to say to you, equipment is very, very, very important. And the only way you're going to decide what kind of equipment is going to get you the images that make you happy, in turn make your audience happy, is by choosing the right equipment. So if you want to be a landscape photographer and you say, okay, I'm going to go get myself a camera and then I'm going to get a long 400 or a 600 lens, it's not going to work, right? Because you want a wide angle, you want to show more, unless you want to have a different perspective on landscape photography and use a 600 and do that. But in general speaking, landscape is done with a wide angle lens, wildlife photography is done with a longer lens, right? So what you decide you want to shoot is going to determine the kind of equipment you have to get. Just a tip on that, your lenses are more important than your camera bodies. I mean, these days, even a low-end camera body is so good that that it can give you enough information that you can reproduce your images in a size that you can sell. So camera bodies are important, and then slowly you can get better and better and better and keep getting better cameras. But the lens is what gives you the emotion, the feel, the look, they call it, right? The look, the emotion, the look, whatever you want to call it, but it's coming from the lens. It's never coming from the camera. The camera is just a tool to play around with your f-stop, your ISO, your shutter speed, your so on and so forth, to get that emotion out. So again, I'm going to go back and I'm going to repeat the things that I've said in the past. Decide you want to be a photographer. Decide what kind of a photographer. That is going to help you decide what kind of equipment you want. Once you have decided what kind of equipment you want, now you think you're ready. You're not. What you are going to do is you are going to make a list of locations or places, or even outside your house, of the things that you want to photograph. I'm going to say to you, come up with at least 50. Once you have that list, you're going to read that to yourself, and you're going to say to yourself, okay, I want to shoot a stone, so to speak, or I want to go out and take photographs of wolves, or I want to go take photographs of elephants. Ask yourself why. Why do you want to do that? And if the answer is because I saw a beautiful image of 𝐿 or of anybody else, that's why I want to do it, then don't do that. The answer has to come from here. It has to make you happy. If you are not going to be happy, you will never make good images. I promise you that. So make a list of all the subjects that you want to shoot, that you want to photograph, and then you go start to photograph them. Now try to photograph them with no expectations. You are going to make mistakes. I have made mistakes. I didn't go to school for photography, but I went to my own school. My own school was make mistakes, and I made so many mistakes. I mean, mistakes over mistakes over mistakes over mistakes. And in those days, my mistakes were expensive because I shot in film. So that would cost me money. You have the digital advantage. So you can make a mistake, look at it and say, that was the mistake I made. Okay, delete. Now let's go back, take the same image again and not make that same mistake. So now you have equipment in your hand. You have decided that you're going to be the best in the world in what you're doing, what kind of photography you're doing. Now you take that and you go out and photograph your subjects and make mistakes. Mistakes over mistakes over mistakes. Once that list is accomplished, then you come back. You come back and you say to yourself, okay, I think I am ready to go out and photograph these in a way where I may possibly get a good image. You make your list of locations. After you've made a list of locations, you are going to study those locations. You're going to write down what time does the sun rise, what time does the sun set. You're going to write down what does this subject do? Like, is it a moving subject? Is it a stationary subject? Is it landscape? Is there snow? Is there no snow? You are going to research the hell out of your subject matter. I mean, so much so that you could write a book on it. So when is research enough? When, in my books, research is enough when you close your eyes and you can start seeing the subject without looking at something, right? So I have this habit of visualizing before I go for all my shoots. I research them so much so, what they eat, what they don't eat, what they do, how they run, when they run, how they run, do they go up and down, do they go side to side? Everything has its own way, and you have to learn that as much as possible. Once you've learned that, you've written all this down and you've closed your eyes. And once you close your eyes and you can see that thing or that subject, you are ready to go out and photograph them. Until then, if you're going to photograph them, you're making a mistake. You will never come back with anything that's good enough. I think so, at least for me, that works. It works to research the hell out of your subject to a point where you close your eyes. Once your eyes are closed, you are seeing them. And if you're seeing them, that's when I'm ready to go. Otherwise, I'm not going to go at all, because it's just going to be a waste of time. I'm going to go there. I'm going to go photograph. I'm going to maybe have the best technical image possible. But what I'm going to miss is I'm going to miss the soul. The emotion is going to go away. And without that, again and again and again, I keep repeating the same thing. It's a photo. It's not an image. So research until you can visualize it. Once you have visualized your subject, now it's time to go out and make mistakes. Keep making mistakes and mistakes and mistakes and mistakes and mistakes. So this is the goal. This is a goal that you should have. The goal that you should have is you go out there and of course it's the digital world, and of course you are going to take more images than you want. So you have one goal in mind. How can I shoot the least amount of photographs, right? And how can I shoot meaningful photographs? Photographs that have meaning to you, to your heart, to your emotions. Because if they are emotional to you, they'll be emotional to your audience. So keeping that in mind, you go out there, you take photographs, and when you come back, you cannot come back and say, I am going to take 10 images that are amazing, or I'm going to take or retouch 50 images that are amazing. You are going to say to yourself, I'm going to take only 5. So every 2,000 images that you photograph, you're only going to select 5. What you really need to learn is your gut, right? So I have a video that explains that. It has to be click, 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 click. And the one that speaks to you, you're going to stop on. I promise you, you will. You have to learn to train your heart and your mind and your body to know that. So every 2,000 images you take, you can only pick one. And once you've done that, I don't know if you've taken 20,000, you do the math, you get one image out of every 2,000. Once you do that, once you learn how to eliminate stuff, your images will automatically start getting better. And then the process after that is, of course, retouching. How are you going to retouch? And then after retouching, then you should be going into, okay, how do I market myself? And then you are going to say, okay, I'm going to build a website. Okay, after building a website, then I am going to build a brand. I am going to go find my audience. I am going to go find my clients. And I'm going to do showings. I'm going to go find galleries. I'm going to go show myself, my images to the world. And then it's rinse and repeat again and again and again and again and again. So you cannot show your audience so much work that they get confused, right? It's a fact. People get confused. We're humans. We get confused. If you show me more than one image, I get confused. So your audience doesn't want to see, they do want to see maybe 500 images, but if you show them 500 images, they will get confused. So you need to show them 1, 2, 10, 15. So if you're doing a gallery showing, maybe you're going to show them 15. If you're doing images on your website, maybe you want to do like maybe 100 images, but not of the same subject. Maybe you want to give them 30 of the same subject, 40 of the same subject. So you will have to keep that in mind. Every 2000 you get one image, right? And in that also you're going to have failures. I promise you will have failures. And you should be happy when you have failures, because failure is nothing but a prompt for you to get better. So you keep that in mind. And now you say on your website you need to have 150 images or maybe 100 images. Just keep the timings in check. And the best way to get better photographs, and this may come across stupid, and I'm going to share this with you. My wife laughs at me, sometimes my kids laugh at me, but the best way to get better is to take your camera to bed. You have to have that camera in your hand that you know it better than yourself, right? So you close your eyes and you can touch and feel the buttons and take an image without opening your eyes. That's when you know your camera is a part of you. You must close your eyes and be able to take a photograph. Now I know I'm going a little crazy here, but you have to be able to hold the camera and you have to say to yourself, okay, this is what I started with, 2.4 or whatever the number is, and I'm going to close your eyes, I'm going to take it up to 5.6 and I'm going to drop my shutter speed. So you should be able to click and turn around and calculate and do all of that in your brain without looking at your camera, without looking at the buttons. Once that is done, you know the camera has become a part of your body. And at that point, you're ready to rinse and repeat, to keep on going again and again and again. So I will make videos on all the things that I've spoken to you about, even websites, even marketing, even branding, even taking images. And I will do that one step at a time. Maybe I'll do one video every week. Maybe I'll do 2 videos every week. I'm not sure. But those are the steps. And I promise you, you follow this and you will become an unbelievable photographer within 1 year. And I will guarantee you that. So anyway, guys, this is it for today. I will see you next week. Actually, I am going to leave you guys a little bit of a teaser. I have a local gentleman who has a fox den in his property, okay, and he's got about 17 to 20 acres of land. And I got in touch with him and we discussed it and we spoke about it and so on. And I am going to go there on Monday to see where and scout where this fox is, where the den is, where the sun is coming from, so on and so forth. I'm going to take you guys with me, but for now I'm doing research on how a fox behaves and what they do and what they eat and what. So I will see you guys. I'll take you guys with me on Monday. I'm going to create that video when I'm going scouting for my fox shoot. By the way, I will not shoot or photograph. I'm sorry, I keep saying shoot, but I will not photograph this fox for at least another 5 months. So that's how long it really takes to do your research, find where the fox is. Now I have found the place. I'm going to go there and I am going to scout the location, and then I'm going to go there and I'm going to make mistakes because I'm a winter photographer. I don't want to shoot the fox in fall and so on, but I'll still go there and I'll shoot and I'll shoot and I'll shoot. And then I'll get to know my subject. I'll know what the fox does. I know when he comes out. I know. And then when it's winter and he comes out, I've got my shot. Anyway, guys, I will speak to you guys soon. I will start making videos on decision making and so on and so forth in the upcoming weeks. I will see you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.